In the past, we've talked about so many of the great Japanese games that we never got here in the United States. What about the other way around? Yeah, as it turns out, there were so many NES games that Japan never saw. How are you feeling? You got John Riggs here. Did you know that it's free to subscribe and you have unlimited subscriptions, so it's not like you're losing any of them? Put a big old Masahiro Chono Yakuza kick right on that subscribe button. I would appreciate it. It does me a world of good. The Legend Riggs hats are also back on sale in the shop. Check out my Etsy as well as the games I make, the air fresheners I make. Talking about the NES games that we got here in the United States that Japan never saw. Just a quick list up front of the games that they did get for the Famicom disk system, but then we got it as a cartridge, including Pro Wrestling, Volleyball, Kid Icarus, Metroid, Kid Icarus and Metroid, you could save the game, no passwords. Slalom, 3D World Runner, Double Dribble, or exciting basketball in Japan, Zanuck, Gunsmoke, Ice Hockey, Jackal, personal favorite, Bubble Bobble, can't go wrong, Dr. Chaos, Castlevania 2, Simon's Quest, Blades of Steel, which was also exciting hockey, I think, Gyrus, Mystic Quest, and Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link. If you have the capacity to check out some of those games on the Famicom disk system, they even might sound a little different too. I love the sound chip that they use for the disk system. Kid Icarus, Metroid, Zelda 2. Yeah, same songs, but maybe different sound effects. I don't know, you gotta check it out for yourself. But as far as the games that we got here that Japan didn't get, here's a huge list of games that we can just go over really quickly, because it makes sense that Japan wouldn't get like our game show games. Like Classic Concentration, like Double Dare, like Family Feud, like Hollywood Squares, like Funhouse. Like all 4 of our Jeopardy games, all 4 of our Wheel of Fortune games. Remote Control, love that one. Win, lose, or draw, they never got it. And same goes for like our children's games, if that makes sense. Like Sesame Street ABCs, Sesame Street 1, 2, 3s, or yeah, I guess you could do the combo card, 1, 2, 3s and ABCs. Sesame Street Countdown, the Sesame Street Big Bird Speaks, the Fisher-Price games like I Can Remember, Perfect Fit, Firehouse Rescue, and even the edutainment games like Mario is Missing, Mario's Time Machine, Mickey's Adventure in Numberland, Mickey's Safari in Letterland. And I don't know if you'd consider it a kid's game, but I will also include Where in Time is Carmen Sandiego. It was more of a guide to teach you how to use an almanac. And there could be a couple of anomalies as well. Like Maniac Mansion comes to mind. It looks different in both regions, but it's still the same Maniac Mansion. Like if you know how to play Maniac Mansion, you can play the Japanese one even though it's all in Japanese. It's, you know, it just looks different. And then also the group of games that aren't really games, if that makes sense. Like Color a Dinosaur is not really a game, but we got it here in the States. They didn't get it in Japan. The Miracle Piano Teaching System, Taboo, The Sixth Sense, Tiny Toon Adventures Cartoon Workshop, Videomation. And again, to kind of speed up the process of this whole video, they did get a lot of our sports games, but there's a ton of sports games they didn't get for all the right reasons. We'll try to go through these pretty quickly. Bandai Golf Challenge Pebble Beach, Baseball Stars 2, surprising, Cyber Stadium Series Base Wars, Bo Jackson Baseball, Greg Norman's Golf Power, Jimmy Connors Tennis, Jordan vs. Bird 1-on-1, Kings of the Beach, Legends of the Diamond, Little League Baseball, Fast Break, Major League Baseball, NES Play Action Football, NFL, Roger Clemens MVP Baseball. I'm going to add Roundball, the 2-on-2 challenge, on this list as well, Tecmo Baseball, Tecmo NBA Basketball, Wayne Gretzky Hockey. It will also even include Winter Games, World Games, and even California Games, although California Games does have this very cool Frisbee mode. Which I always thought was kind of fun. And here comes the Frisbee, dive for it! Ah, you missed it. So yes, we got those. Some of those sports games would have made sense. You know, like in Japan they love golf, in Japan they love tennis, but they don't know who our star players are. Unless it came out as something else, which has happened in the past, where it's like we got one of their games and I don't know, whatever. Anyway, that. Maybe there's somebody in Japan importing all these US games, saying, hey, look at all these cool games that I got that we never had a chance to play. The very first game I want to throw on this list for games that we got in the United States that Japan didn't get was, believe it or not, a black box title made in Japan, but Japan never got it. We did, for some reason. The game's called Gumshoe. It's a Zapper game. I liked this game when I first played it way back in the day because I liked the idea that instead of shooting the balloons or the enemies, you shoot yourself and you have to dodge everything out of the way. I just thought it was kind of a fun idea. Interesting title anyway, and an interesting way of doing things by, you know, just have to literally shoot yourself as you're just kind of blindly walking down the path here. Yeah, Gumshoe. Never came out in Japan, came out here in the United States. You know all those times we talk about how come Mike Jones isn't in Super Smash Bros.? Where is my Star Tropics 3? Well, the reason is because in Japan, where they make the video games, they never got Star Tropics. And they never got Star Tropics 2 Zoda's Revenge. They never played them, unless they imported them, or unless they have it on their Switch Online service or something like that. Ain't that a shame? Ain't that a shame that Japan didn't grow up with Star Tropics like we did? Ready for this shocker? Tetris never came out in Japan. Now, Tetris did for the Game Boy. Tetris did from Bulletproof Software or whatever. Yeah, that version did, but they had the console rights. So this version of Tetris, the NES Tetris that we had, never came out in Japan. Can you believe that? Good lord. And the version they did get was terrible. Because it's like the buttons and the D-pad are swapped as far as like rotating and dropping, and it's weird. Advanced Dungeons & Dragons Dragon Strike was a game that we got here. Pretty cool game. You choose your dragon, you have your overworld map, and you can go up and down depending on which playing field you're on. If you want to attack the enemies down below, attack the dragons up above. Very cool game. The Addams Family, well, I mean, and again, a lot of the games might make sense on this list because, you know, maybe Japan doesn't know who the Addams Family is. Maybe the movies never came out there, I don't know. Well, either way, here's Addams Family from Ocean. Of all the Ocean games, I actually kind of like this one a little bit. Along with that, we also have the Addams Family Pugsley's Scavenger Hunt. And it plays a lot like the other Addams Family game, only this time you play the role of Pugsley, finally. I mean, usually, you know, Fester gets all the attention, or Wednesday for sure, especially nowadays. But, you know, Pugsley's there too. There you go. So Pugsley finally gets his own game. This one's a little bit more based, I think, on the cartoon series. The Adventures in the Magic Kingdom, well, maybe they didn't have Tokyo Disney just yet. Now it's a good time to maybe reevaluate this. Bring it out in Japan here. You have your little Jungle Cruise outfit. You can ride the rides and everything like that. What a fun game. I'm sad that Japan didn't get a chance to play this growing up like we did. The Adventures of Lolo, the first one. And again, this is going to be one of those anomalies. This one kind of came out, but it wasn't exactly the same. There was like an Eggerland, which was their Lolo. But this one specifically didn't come out. It was, again, slightly different, but different enough that it is still kind of its own game. So we'll add this to the list as well. The Adventures of Rocky and Bullwinkle. Man, why do I keep talking about this game when it's one of the absolute worst? On the NES. This is real life, man. This is what the game looks like. Hey, I gotta give it to you. The colors and the graphics, I think they look pretty good for what Rocky and Bullwinkle looked like for the, what, 60s? Late 60s or something like that? Well, just wish the game was better. The Adventures of Rad Gravity. Sure, we can add this on there. This is one of those that you can just look at this game and say, like, yeah, this game didn't come out in Japan. This game was definitely a US game here. It's alright. Airwolf, I'm adding on the list. Yes, Airwolf, a version of Airwolf came out in Japan. The one in Japan is more of a side-scrolling shooter. This one's more of the kind of helicopter missions, which, you know, plays like a Top Gun style game. Airwolf, though. Hey, why not? Alfred Chicken, made in the UK, came out in the US, but did not come out in Japan. And you're going to see that a few times. There are some games, just because they didn't come out in Japan, doesn't mean they didn't come out in the UK. So this is just strictly Japan didn't get these games. So yeah, you're going to see some of these games that did come out for PAL regions, just not in Japan. Alien 3, too bad too. I actually kind of like this game. It's an LJN game, but that doesn't matter. I don't know. I thought it was alright. But again, maybe the Alien franchise wasn't as big in Japan, which I totally thought it was. At least it should have been. American Gladiators, well, sure, I can understand why this game didn't come out there. It could have, I suppose, but, you know, it might be one of those things where it's like, wait a minute, there's a game show based on this? Wouldn't it be funny, like we had Takeshi's Castle that we had as MXC, wouldn't it be funny if Japan would redub American Gladiators in that MXC style where they just kind of like mock everything? Actually, that'd be a lot of fun. Anticipation, man, I know it's one of the cheapest games to find on convention floors, but I love this game. I literally played through this game on a flight recently just as a way to kill, you know, half an hour. It draws the picture for you. You have to guess what it is before the timer stops, and then it moves on to the next square. So it has that kind of Trivial Pursuit element where you have to, like, get all the different pieces of the wedge. Or all the wedges. Yeah, you know what I mean. Arch Rivals. Now, I know we talked about a bunch of sports games up front, but this one has that added element of violence. So we gotta talk about that. So yes, it is 2-on-2 basketball, but the fact that you can, like, you know, punch the other players and stuff like that too, I wanted to add this on there. There's gonna be a lot of games from this company that you'll see pop up on this list that just never quite made it over there. Jay from Game Chasers thinks I look like this guy. I don't know if I see a resemblance, but maybe you agree? I don't know. Archon. Alrighty. Well, it looks like as if you took chess and made up your own rules. That's basically what Archon is, which ain't bad, because that means if you have a chessboard and you know how to play this game, you can play your own version of chess using these rules, I suppose. But there we go. Came out in the US. Archista's Ring is another game. Man, I could have seen this game as a Famicom game. It's a little bit surprising to me that this did not come out in Japan, because it just looks and feels like a Famicom game, doesn't it? But according to, you know, looking up stuff, it never came out in the US. I mean, it never came out in, it never came out in Japan. Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, kind of a later release game for the NES, but it still doesn't matter. It was a late release game for the NES and a never released game for the Famicom. The Adventures of Gilligan's Island. It's funny because this game came out, you know, the original Gilligan's Island, when it first came out, was in black and white. That's how old this show is. Came out in like, what, the 60s or something like that? So I would watch it sometimes because it happened to be on, but wasn't super familiar. But it was funny because during this time, yeah, it was in reruns, but it wasn't like this huge resurgence. Like I remember, and if you were from around the time of like 1994, 95, for some reason, Brady Bunch made a huge resurgence in reruns, where everyone, like, you know, like high schoolers, like I was in high school during that time, was talking about rewatching Brady Bunch and stuff like that too. So Gilligan's Island, I don't feel had that, but they made a game out of it all the same. We got Back to the Future. Oh boy, yeah. Well, I mean, I'm okay that this game never came out in Japan. I wish it didn't come out here either. Same goes for Back to the Future 2 and 3. As if just 2 wasn't enough. And Back to the Future 2 could have been an excellent, excellent, excellent video game. But it was not. And then the fact that they added 3 to it, which I've never seen 3, I've never played it that long. Well, we got 2 and 3 on the same cart. Bad Street Brawler. Man, listen. This game, I want to say, was in conjunction with the Power Glove. So yes, you could play it with a controller, and it's fine as a controller game too. Not the best beat 'em up ever, but a beat 'em up all the same. But I wanted to say that this game, because it was Mattel, you could use like the Power Glove in a certain way. We also have Barbie. Believe it or not, it's actually not, I hate to say it out loud, it's actually not as terrible of a game as it looks like, as it feels like, as it plays like. When you first play it, you're like, yep, this is dumb. But the more you play it, you're like, this actually provides just a little bit of a challenge, and I think I can move on and go to the next level. Trick Shooting, another Zapper game. This game features the dog from Duck Hunt. So that's kind of cool. Batman Returns never came out in Japan, so based on the second movie now. This one does play it, like I say, it's scrolling beat 'em up. I think during this time, Japan was more so focused on just making, you know, Super Famicom games, where it's like, oh, there's a new game for the NES? Nah, we've kind of moved on from that already. I don't know if that's true or not, I'm just... It's completely a complete assumption. Why you gotta have Battle Chess? The slowest moving chess game of all time. Battleship, however, I like Battleship. Battleship was a favorite board game of mine growing up. And the fact that you have different kinds of missiles you can shoot that does like a barrage of missiles all at once. That was pretty cool too. Battletoads and Double Dragon never came out in Japan. So now you have the guys from Battletoads and the guys from Double Dragon. Don't get it twisted. It's just another Battletoads game. I mean, it's like the Battletoads engine, and it happens to have the Double Dragon guys. You know, a little cameo there. I love the crossover. I'm always down for a crossover. But it's just another Battletoads game, and it's a decent-ish one at that. Beetlejuice. I was so let down by this game. I wanted to like this game so much, and this game did so little. Best of the Best Championship Karate. I like this game. It was one of the first games I remember that you could actually create your own character and put exactly the moves you want in your moveset. I didn't do that in this playthrough. I just started hitting random buttons, but I thought the animation was fantastic. Bigfoot. Huge shout out to Bigfoot. The second or third stage actually takes place in Yakima, Washington, my hometown, for the hill climb, which I guess kind of makes sense for Yakima being in a valley. But they made a Bigfoot game, and Bigfoot, like, legendary celebrity superstar status in the United States, especially in the 80s, a little bit in the 90s. So it makes sense that there would be a Bigfoot game. I mean, there's a Bigfoot, like, Saturday morning cartoon, right? Bill and Ted's Excellent Video Game Adventure never came out in Japan. I wish it also never came out in the United States. But it was certainly an experience to behold. And for your viewing pleasure, here is 8-bit Keanu Reeves along with 8-bit George Carlin. This might be the only time we've seen an 8-bit George Carlin in video games. I don't know. Billy Elliott's NASCAR Challenge. I'm not the biggest fan of NASCAR. I have a couple of friends who are a fan of NASCAR, and if you are the same, where you're just like, I don't know what I'm doing with NASCAR, they put it to me like this. Think about any sport, and you have your favorite team that you cheer for. Congratulations, that's NASCAR. You find your favorite guy, and you cheer for him. It's that simple. And I was like, oh, yeah, I guess it kind of makes sense. There's a race car driver, last name is Riggs. That's my guy, sure. Or maybe choose your favorite guy depending on who your favorite sponsor is. I don't know. Oh, we got the Blues Brothers. Here's another interesting one. Blues Brothers never came out in Japan. I love this graphic of this Blues Brother here. I absolutely love it. I think it looks great. Bram Stoker's Dracula. It's Dracula. This game, if you're not familiar, it actually plays really well. It's actually a really, really neat game. So, unfortunately, didn't come out in Japan. Breakthrough, you're going to see a lot of games from Data East, I noticed on this list too. Data East. Breakthrough was an arcade game ported over to the NES. You want to keep driving fast, but you can't because there's mines, there's stuff in the way, rocks fall on top of you, and you can jump the weirdest kind of vertical jump ever going over things. Caesar's Palace, this is the game that your mom played. It is a gambling game on the NES. We get casino games, they get pachinko games. That's how that works. Championship Pool. Come on now. As far as the billiard games go for the NES, this one's really neat. This one plays a little bit more professional, while the other ones, like Side Pocket, are a little bit more arcadey. But this one feels like it's a little bit more physics aligned, or whatever that term I'm looking for is. Captain America and the Avengers never came out in Japan. That's unfortunate. Well, this came out during a time, this is far before the Avengers films. So during this time, Captain America was one of the top guys. I mean, still is. But Captain America was like way up the list on lead Marvel superhero guys. And Hawkeye is kind of the other guy on here too. I think it plays really well. Captain Planet and the Planeteers. This is a really, really tough game. I recently did a video on like hardest NES games. This one could have made the list. Because the first thing you do is fly your ship. You're like, no! It should have been, you play as the kids to get your ring back, and then once all 5 of you have your rings, the 6th stage, you play as Captain Planet to take down the guys. Captain Skyhawk was not a cartoon with a good message. It was a game made by Rare, actually, believe it or not. It has that vertical, it's like isometric, but you're still behind the ship. So like instead of you being isometric, everything else is isometric. I don't know, that's pretty cool. Another casino game in Casino Kid 2. I guess Casino Kid 1 did come out in Japan. Casino Kid 2 didn't. This one, I liked the first one because that's the first one I played. This one was cool because the people you played against had a call, and if you learned, like when they would say something, if you learned what they said, what that meant, or as far as like gambling goes, you could win every time. So that's kind of cool. You can just look up a guide or something like that if you need to. Caveman Games, another game from Data East here. Did not come out in Japan. It's unfortunate here. I love the mate tossing has always been my favorite one, but the different little caveman games for PCs and stuff. And when this game was first announced, it was going to be called Caveman Olympics, and I thought that was a great pun. Chess Master, another chess game. This one's a little bit more proper chess. This is like, you know, if you had a computer, this is the version of chess that you would probably play. Cliffhanger. Oof. It was a really built-up movie for the time, I remember. I've never seen the film, but the game is not the greatest. Cobra Triangle. Man, this is another game I wish came out in Japan. It's also by Rare. I've noticed a lot of games made by Rare didn't quite make it to Japan. I mean, some of them did. But this one didn't, and I loved this game. It's a little RC Pro-Am, but it's also a little like Gradius, where you can like choose your own upgrades as you keep going. There's even boss battles and stuff. It's a super great game. It's one of my favorites. Super hard too. Mindscape presents Conan. Well, here's your Conan game. Boy, it's another one of those I wish it was better. It's funny, you don't have a jump button, you have like a punch and kick, but then like up is jump up, and then if you push down, you jump up and forward to jump over things or jump up on top of things. Very interesting controls. Cool World, it was another, it was a pretty cool movie. Cool World was a cool movie. It was the first time I ever saw Brad Pitt. I remember that. And it's Cool World. It was another one of those, like, you know, not that it's Roger Rabbit for adults, but I do love me some Ralph Bakshi, so there you go. Another sports game I will put on this list is Cyberball, because again, it's a little bit different. It's, I mean, it's still football at its core, but it's football with robots. What? There you go. And I know that we had the Base Wars, which was baseball with robots, but still. Cybernoid, we can talk about Cybernoid a little bit. This plays like a indie game that some dude made in his basement. And that's not a bad thing. It's just, that's how it plays to me. Danny Sullivan's Indie Heat. Have you actually played this game? 4 players simultaneous, a little bit like Sprint, or like Super Sprint, but then also has pit stops and stuff. It's actually a pretty neat game. I don't know, it's not a game I technically play, but it's a game I don't see gameplay footage of very often, especially when other people are talking about like lists of games here. Darkman came out, another movie that was really hyped up for its special effects, and then the game came out. based on the movie. And my biggest thing was like, oh, cool, I want to play Darkman so I can like change my character to look like other people in this game. And I could never make it as far. The controls on this didn't let me. Darkwing Duck! Oh man, what a great show, what a great cartoon, a great action platformer, but then also coming out of games like DuckTales, like Rescue Rangers. This one had a little bit more of a challenge for me than I was expecting, so good on Darkwing Duck, but a great game all the same. What about Dash Galaxy and the Alien Asylum? Well, it's a game that's more fun to say than it is to play. However, I don't mind playing this game. It's just a little weird. It's a little weird. Daydream and Davy, a game from HAL Laboratories, but HAL Laboratories didn't make this game. I think they just kind of helped or whatever. And you play as Daydream and Davy going through these different daydreams. Yay! Days of Thunder. Well, we got another racing game here with Days of Thunder. There you go. Defender of the Crown from the PC to the NES, and it plays like a game from the PC to the NES. A little confusing sometimes, hard to do, just stuff with a controller. Made the best of it anyway. Defenders of Dynatron City, another game from Lucasfilm and JVC Musical Industries. Interesting game on this one. I actually didn't mind this as much. It's another kind of later release game. You can play as different characters. Like, they made up a bunch of like different superheroes just for this brand, and they had a cartoon that lasted like an episode and a half. I think there was a comic book maybe. They really tried to push this thing to be a thing, but they pushed it all at once. So like the game came out, the cartoon came out, the comic came out, if there was cereal, that would have come out too. The action figures would have come out if there was action figures about it. Maybe they were planning on it, I don't know. And it just didn't go anywhere. That's the problem. Destination Earthstar from Acclaim. There we go. It's another, it's a space voyage shooting style game. If you loved Star Trek and stuff like that, I think you'd like this game. It's alright. Dick Tracy, a game I really enjoyed. Dick Tracy just came out in movie theaters, so they had a couple of games. They had the one for the Genesis, the one for the Master System, this one here for the NES. I wish they would make another Dick Tracy movie, but Warren Beatty has like licensing rights or something like that, and keeps doing things so no one else can be Dick Tracy except for him in some weird legal something or other. Well, I mean, I wouldn't mind to just make another movie or something like that, because I like the Dick Tracy character. And I like this game quite a bit too, because you can drive around and you know, go to these places to get your clues and arrest some guys. Dino War is another game that Japan did not get in, but we did here in the United States. I like it all right. I could have seen this game in Japan for the Famicom. You start out as the guy, you jump in your robot dinosaur, then you play as a robot dinosaur. There you go. Eliminator Boat Duel. Eliminator Boat Duel has a couple of different gameplay modes on this that you can play as, so it keeps gameplay going. You know, mixes it up every once in a while. NES had two stealth games. One of them was F117A, or do you say F117A? I'm not exactly sure. But it is a stealth, you play as a stealth bomber. Stealth bombers were super trendy during this time. Like, you know, they were in everything. Like, everyone was talking about, ooh, the stealth bomber, you can you know, undetected by radar. Well, okay. And here's F-15 Strike Eagle from the same makers, and it also plays very similarly, so cool. Fester's Quest from Sunsoft. A lot of people bag on this game for its difficulty, for this, that, and the other. I love it. I've beaten it a few times. I'm pretty sure I could beat this game now. I just haven't tried it in a long time. Maybe I'll have to do that on Twitch stream sometime, but I do like this game. Felix the Cat, the late release game. Love this game. It's actually very fun. Cartoony elements in this game. You can kind of upgrade your characters and all that, or upgrade your weaponry. The Flintstones, The Surprise at Dinosaur Peak. Man, if we know now what we knew then, then this game wouldn't be as valuable as it is, because we'd all have copies of it. Flight of the Intruder. It's one of those games I see every once in a while. It's like, ooh, yeah, that game. And it's like, I keep thinking it's a different game, because this is the game that looks like this. It's another Top Gun style game. Flying Warriors, the name of this game here. Flying Warriors. This is from Culture Brain, which has made a few games like this with this style of fighting mode. But this one has a little Power Rangers element too, where you can upgrade your suit, and there's different gameplay styles too. I don't know, I like this kind of game. Formula 1 Built to Win. This game is amazing. It's like a racing RPG. Now I'm just gonna do like just to have fun with a race. But when you play this game like story mode or whatever, when you do these races, you might get your money to get upgrades, and you have to keep doing races to move to the next town and all that, upgrade your car and all that. Very, very good game. Frankenstein, another game that maybe not a lot of people have played. However, man, give it a shot sometime. If you have the capacity to play this game, by any means, however you play your games. Really neat game. I do like this game quite a bit. So another Zapper game. This one's called Freedom Force. Here's a little opening cinematic here for Freedom Force. It's a Zapper game though, so, you know, Friday the 13th, a game I'm pretty sure anybody who's ever played an NES, who has nostalgia for it and it wasn't just like a one-time whatever, anybody who grew up with an NES has probably played this game. Probably. And it's a little convoluted. To me, it's a lot of convoluted, but I still had a lot of fun playing this game. Galaxy 5000, the name of this game. Think rock and roll racing, but in space, in a way. Zooming around these corners, I did like that they had the control method, so instead of it being like tank controls, you just push the direction you want to go. If you want to go left, push left. If you want to go down, push down. Might make it easier for you than like hold the accelerate button and then like, you know, left and right tank controls. That might make it easier for you with Galaxy 5000. Gauntlet did come out on an NES official cart after a while. Yes, it was on the Tengen cart too. 100 levels, Gauntlet for the NES. Man, okay. George Foreman's Knockout Boxing. We can talk about this a little bit. Man, unless it's Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, I almost don't even want to play it because I don't even. It says like I punch them, they punch me. That's not fun. I need strategy. Ghostbusters 2, an NES game that they did get in Japan, but we didn't get this version. Hold on. No, this is the Three Stooges. Sorry, this is Three Stooges. Has some little mini games you can play, like this eating the oyster soup thing. On top of that, there's also Ghostbusters 2. We have a different version of Ghostbusters 2. Japan got the good version of Ghostbusters 2. Not to say, honestly, this could have been a pretty decent game, but oh, man, the Japanese version or the European version, the new Ghostbusters 2, it's so good. That was the version we should have got. How about Ghoul School? Remember this game? Yeah, how about Ghoul School? Ever play this game? I liked this game a little bit. I just like the fact that it was like you play as this grungy kid with like, you know, ripped jeans, and then these weird monsters in your school. Kind of fun. G.I. Joe, the Real American Hero. This is the Taxon G.I. Joe version. There are 2 of them. And this one, huge, huge brand, of course, the huge toy line, the great cartoon series and all that. Very good. It's my preferred version over the Capcom version, although the Capcom version, which also did not come out in Japan, the Atlantis Factor, very, very, very good game. Very good game. Love both of them. Now, Godzilla 2 is an interesting one that Japan didn't get because Godzilla is literally from Japan. So why did we get the second one? Well, this one plays like a strategy version. It does not play like the Godzilla that we did get earlier for the NES. But this one is a strategy one where you're trying to attack Godzilla. Keep that in mind. Gotcha, the sport. Around this time, for some reason, like when paintball first became a thing, I remember it being called Gotcha. And maybe that's Mandela effect, I don't know. But I remember that was all about paintballing and stuff like that too, so they just kind of called it Gotcha. But, you know, paintball now. It's a paintball zapper game. Yeah, heavy shredding. I live in the Northwest. We have a few mountain passes near us. Very good for skiing and snowboarding, so it's always fun to see something like this. I'm more into sledding. And being in the lounge. We got High Speed Pinball. This is video pinball here for your NES. This is a game that we got. They didn't. Home Alone. Yeah, we got this version of Home Alone for the NES. #1 movie for a long time, at least during that season. And then we also got Home Alone 2, and this is plays completely different than Home Alone 1. This one plays more like a linear stage-by-stage kind of game. The Hunt for Red October, well, I remember that was another movie that came out here, so it makes sense that, you know, we got it. Japan did not, you know, based on the movie and everything. That's a little, it's a shooter, but you play as a submarine. The Incredible Crash Dummies. I mean, what started out as a buckle your seatbelt commercial, these guys kind of took on superstar status. If we were still making NES games like this, we would have had a flow from Progressive game a long time ago. They made a few Crash Test Dummy games. This one, or no, not Crash Test Dummies, Crash Dummies. They made a few of them, and I think this one for the NES is my favorite. Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom is a game that they did not get. This was also on an actual NES cart, not just the Tengen cart. Save the Kids, Zoom Over, I remember seeing this in the arcade as well. Japan also did not get Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. This one has a few different gameplay modes on here, including like a little action-y part. There's also a second Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade from a different company, and Japan also did not get that one. We got 2 of them, they got 0. Infiltrator is a pretty fun game. There's 2 different modes. There's a flying mode, which I don't care for, and then there's the base mode with a little Metal Gear Solid E, where you have to like sneak into the base and change your outfit and show your papers and, you know, steal stuff, whatever it is. Iron Sword. This is Wizards and Warriors 2, and this game, another game by Rare, great animation, super fun game. Of the 3 Wizards and Warriors games, well, I guess I like this second. I like the first one first, second one second, third one third. The first game did come out in Japan as something, it was named something else, but it was still Wizards and Warriors. But they never got Iron Sword. That's too bad. Ivan Iron Man Stewart's Super Off-Road. Love this game in the arcade. I love the steering wheel controllers. And it plays pretty decently for the NES as well. Perfect if you have the 4-player tap. James Bond Jr. This is a cartoon I remember being on and literally never watched. But they had the video game. So there you go. James Bond Jr. Sure. Jaws, another one of those games that I think a lot of people played. There are people who can speedrun this game in like 3 or 4 minutes. I'm just like... I've seen how they do it, and it's like, it never looks like that for me. But still. Joe and Mac, another game that I could have seen come out for the Famicom, but it didn't come out. It came out for the NES, though. It doesn't play exactly the same as the arcade. It doesn't play exactly the same as it does for, like, let's say the Super Nintendo, but it's still a very good game. The Jungle Book, man, the animation on this is amazing. Love the Jungle Book here. You know, it's alright. Jurassic Park, another one of those games, like, man, you can't wait to see all the great Jurassic Park games, but it's hard to top that first one for the Sega Genesis. But this one plays like its own thing, a little overworld, you know, shooting the other dinosaurs and stuff. It's like, I don't want to shoot the dinosaurs, I just want to, you know, try to leave the island or something. Karate Champ never came out, believe it or not, in Japan. I guess you can believe it, but here we go. Karate Champ. I'm a little weird with the NES pad, but the NES controls, if you find your favorite moves that work, you just stick with those. From Karate Champ to Karate Kid, another game all about kicking and stuff like that, and yeah, there you go. Karate Kid. It came out in the US. And it is a shock that Kickmaster did not come out. And maybe it's another one of those late release games. Came out, you know, during the times of the Super Nintendo. We're like, no, we're just going to put all of our efforts in the Super Nintendo. I don't know what it was like there during this time. But man, what a great game. Kickmaster, some of my favorite graphics on an NES game. Super, super fun. Love this one. King's Quest V was the first King's Quest game I played because I did not have a computer growing up. Every time I would see a computer game, I was like, well, I hope they bring that out to the NES. And this was one they did. And I love games like this. Like use this on this, talk to this person, grab this item. What a fun game. I played through it. I played through it again just a few months ago, and maybe it's time I do it again. Clash Ball, again, another sports game that could have been added to that original list. However, this one, like the futuristic sports, so it's like its own kind of sports game. I don't know. It's very like, it's ice hockey. You put the ball in the hole. Why would I think that's ice hockey? That's literally every game. Kiwi Craze. Why didn't they just call it New Zealand Story? But again, Kiwi Craze. Surprising they didn't get this game in Japan. How cute it is and everything like that. Come on. Krusty's Funhouse, a game from The Simpsons. I guess maybe The Simpsons aren't as popular in Japan. I'm not sure. But it's a fun puzzle game. It takes a while sometimes for some of these traps to work. Last Action Hero and the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. Makes sense that Japan wouldn't get this, especially when it looks like this. The Last Ninja, I mean, it's another one of those games. I wish Japan got this, and I wish we didn't. But here we are. The Last Starfighter, one of my favorite movies when I was a kid growing up, because it was like, oh, there's a grown teen playing arcade games, and that's how he's selected. I love that idea. Oh, the game could have been better. Legendary Wings, what a legendary game here. I don't know if I've ever seen this in the arcade, now that I think about it. If you're not familiar, vertical shooter that can go into a side-scrolling, go through the dungeons thing. I mean, the screenshot's always that giant mouth, like, sucking you in. And the rest of the game, I mean, I don't know. I kind of like this game. Huge fan of Lemmings, and then here's Lemmings. You have to assign the Lemmings different jobs to get to the goal. Lethal Weapon, yeah. I've heard all the Lethal Weapon references. My last name literally being Riggs growing up, and man, this game's terrible. I'll leave it at that. The Lone Ranger. This was a game, man, it took me forever to finally play this game. Like, literally, I think I finally got this game, like, in 2014 or so. It's a game I wish I would have played earlier. What a fun Konami game. Loops, well, it's just a game where you have to, like, you get these pieces and you have to make them loop, and that's what makes them disappear, is by looping them together. Makes sense. Low G-Man, I remember seeing the Nintendo Power spread on Low G-Man. I'm thinking to myself, oh, that looks pretty cool. And you play it and you're like, oh yeah, it is pretty cool. Not the best game of all time, but, you know, it's certainly better than most. We have Mad Max. It was a movie series Mad Max, a movie series that I never watched. It wasn't really my kind of thing. However, the video game itself, it actually played, I thought it was okay. I thought it was pretty decent. I thought it was okay. Magician, I would love to love this game, but I don't have a clue what I'm doing. I need more help with this game. Marble Madness, another game I need a lot of help with. As much as I love this game, man, I sludge through the best I can, but I've seen people just plow through it like it's nothing. Mechanized Attack, well, it's another Zapper-style game here. Like an Operation Wolf or something like that. Monster in My Pocket. This is a toy line that I wish would make a resurgence. You got the vampire, also got the Dracula-looking guy, and it just plays like a great, you know, run and attack style game here. 2-player as well. Monster Party, another one of those weird things that was made in Japan, but did not come out in Japan. But we got it here in the United States, and I'm glad we did, because I love this game. I have a lot of love for Monster Party. Monster Truck Rally, the name of this game. Late release, not a lot of people know about this game. I mean, it could be a lot better. The angle makes it weird, because sometimes it's a uphill, but it just looks like the road gets cut off. I don't know. Mule! Another game I don't have a clue what I'm doing. Jim Henson's Muppet Adventure Chaos at the Carnival. Out of all the times we finally get a Muppets game, and it's this. We could have done better. The Mutant Virus is a game that, well, we got, they didn't. Looks kind of confusing, but, I mean, it could be kind of fun. Miss Pac-Man. I mean, not much more to what else we can say about it. It's Miss Pac-Man. Narc. Well, Narc's a pretty fun game. Boy, it took the arcades by storm, didn't it? It had like 19 buttons on the console. And you know, you don't have to shoot them. You can arrest them too. However, when you have a rocket launcher, you can see like their parts flying around. That's pretty cool too. Nigel Mansell's World Championship. Well, we have this for you as well. And it's a racing game. It's like an F1 style racing game. Nightmare on Elm Street, another game from LJN. I think most LJN games did not come out in Japan. But out of all the LJN games, this one is one of the better ones. 4 players simultaneous, can go to the dream world, big creepy monsters. It's just any game that had some creepiness to it was usually ones I would look out for. Nightshade is another game. I love the writing in this game. It's another one of those, you can move around and everything, but you still have to like use item on this to, you know, those kind of puzzle solving things. Orb 3D. Alright, here's Orb 3D for you. Overlord. Well, here's Overlord for you. I don't have a clue how to play this game either. Paperboy 2, I guess they got Paperboy 1. Here's Paperboy 2. You can play as a Paperboy or Papergirl, and this time you have houses on both sides of the street, so that's kind of fun, but still, you know, very Paperboy-like. Fox's Peter Pan and the Pirates. I remember seeing this cartoon a couple of times, thinking to myself, how did they even get away with it? And I was like, oh yeah, Disney doesn't own Peter Pan. Disney doesn't own, well, I mean, they own maybe their likeness or their version of it. But, I mean, Peter Pan is royalty-free. Anybody can make a Peter Pan thing. Pictionary, another game where the soundtrack is way better than the game itself. You have to do these little mini challenges to unlock the photo, and the photo is just like line art to type in what the item is. Pinbot, just like the that other one that we saw earlier, Video Pinball. Same idea, probably the same makers. Pipe Dream, name of this game. I liked Pipe Dream. You have to like create these pipes because once the sludge starts going, it won't stop until it's, you know, until it hits until it spills out or something. Pirates, this is like Sid Meier's Pirates on the Genesis. They called it Pirates Gold, and it is a pirate simulator that you do all these fun pirate things. Super, super amazing. Platoon, this was a movie, wasn't it? I'm pretty sure it was. I mean, it's a game though too. Yeah. Power Punch 2. This was supposed to be another Mike Tyson game, but didn't work out that way, and probably for the better, because this game is not great. Prince of Persia. Well, this is one of those that came out for any console. It was on computers as well, and then also on the NES. It actually plays pretty well on the NES. Q*bert. Japan didn't get a classic of Q*bert. Man, listen, Q*bert's one of my favorite arcade games. It was one of my favorite games growing up playing. I played a lot of it on the Atari 2600. Huge fan of Q*bert, and a huge fan of Qix as well. My strategy with Qix, as I speed up the footage here, is to kind of box him in. Because you have like the 2 buttons, A and B buttons. One of them you move faster, but you get less points, and one of them you move slower, but you get a lot more points. And I try to box him in, and then that way when I box him in, I just use the slower method, and then just cash it all in all at once. RC Pro-Am. We got to talk about RC Pro-Am, another classic here. You race around the tracks, and sometimes you can get weapons like mines or missiles. They also did make an RC Pro-Am 2, and both of these games did not come out in Japan. It's unfortunate. RC Pro-Am 2 came out too late, I think. It would have been nice if RC Pro-Am 2 would have come out like maybe a year, maybe 2 years later. But it came out like a few years later. Race America is one of those NES games that not a lot of people talk about. I think it's pretty cool. I think it's okay, because first it starts out with the drag idea, and you have to catch up. And then it goes in like the racing mode, and then whoever's in first place gets the full screen, whoever's in second place gets the smaller screen. Rad Racer 2. This is another one of those racing games. Man, it came out a little bit later than it should have. Rad Racer, one of those classic racing games for the NES. Yeah, I mean, it's another racing game. More of a driving game than a racing game, though. Think of it a little bit more like an Outrun. Rampage, unfortunately, another game that Japan did not get, which is too bad because, man, what a great game this is. The Ren and Stimpy Show. Well, I'm not sure if Ren and Stimpy ever came out in Japan. However, it was a huge thing here in the United States, so of course they had to make a video game based out of it. Could have been better, but, you know, it's not so bad. Road Blasters, another Tengen game, come out to the US cart to make an official release, and I like this game. It's running and gunning, and you can pick up different items and stuff too later. Fun. RoboCop 3. I guess they got 2 and 3. I guess they got 1 and 2, but maybe not 3. As far as an ocean game goes for a RoboCop game, I thought it played okay. I wish you could shoot straight up. That's always been my gripe with this game. You can shoot up at an angle, but just not like right above your head, which is too bad. Rocket Ranger, man, it's another one of those games I would see like in magazines, like, oh, that looks super cool. And I play it, I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. The Rocketeer, however, super fun game. I remember the Rocketeer Super Nintendo game more, but this one plays completely different. This one is a large-roomed kind of action platformy style game, so very cool. Roller games, you would think would just be like when I first saw it, I was like, oh, it's like roller derby. No, it's a beat 'em up. It's a beat 'em up, but you happen to be on rollerblades. Or skates. No, blades. Yeah. No, they're roller skates. This is rollerblades. Rollerblade Racer. Well, we went through a rollerblade phase for a little bit here in the United States, so why not make a rollerblade game? Wish it was a different game than this one. Russian Attack, are you kidding me? The best pun in video game history, not coming out in Japan. Well, Japan, I don't know. This game, I remember disliking this game. I love this opening sequence. I remember disliking this game in the arcade because it's a quarter muncher. It is a one-hit kill, 3 strikes, you're out. And I was like, man, I want to keep playing, but man, I keep dying. But the more you play this game, and the fact that up is jump, but this game, up is jump. It's like, well, alright. Section Z, different from the arcade, but this is the NES version, which plays like, I like how the A and B buttons is shoot forward, shoot behind you, much like, what was that game? Sidearms. But this game plays a little bit more like a maze instead of like level 1, 2, 3, like the arcade. Shooting Range, another light gun game that did not come out in Japan. Short Order Explode is a Power Pad game that did not come out in Japan. Silent Service, a game that's on the butt of many jokes. It's a game that I actually kind of enjoy. I remember playing this quite a bit, actually, when I was younger, just because I didn't mind the time. I didn't mind the patience of going somewhere, and I just like the torpedo part of it, so that's fun for me. Silkworm, how about this game? 2 players simultaneous, love this in the arcade. You can play as a helicopter or play as a jeep. You can be in the air or on the ground. I'll play as the helicopter, at least in this mode. Interesting too, because you have your weapon shoots forward and then down, and if you hold your other button, you angle down more, so you can also shoot more directly down below you. Interesting. Along with Krusty's Funhouse, the other Simpsons games, we'll go ahead and add those to the list as well. This is Bart Simpson versus the Space Mutants, never came out in Japan. We had Bart versus the World, never came out in Japan. Bartman versus Radioactive Man, never came out in Japan. Skate or Die, oh man, skating culture in the 80s was an amazing thing. And during this time, I mean, I remember when Skate or Die first came out for the NES, the big days of like Pal Peralta, Bones Brigade and all that was already kind of on the out. Not that it wasn't cool or anything, but loved the fact that we had skateboarding anyway, so I had to support it with Skate or Die, and I thought it was a lot of fun. I spent a lot of time on Skate or Die. Spent less time on Skate or Die 2, as it plays completely different. It's more of a linear level game that you happen to be on a skateboard, but it was still something. I beat it once. And not to be outdone, Ski or Die. Even though it's called Ski or Die, the person's on a snowboard, we won't bring that to our attention. It plays more like Skate or Die, the first one, but with skis or with snowboard or whatever. So, pretty cool. Sky Shark, great vertical shooter. Just a standard issue. Love it. Yeah, it's great. Snake Rattle and Roll, played a lot of this one as well. Another game from Rare that came out in the US, did not come out in Japan. I like this game quite a bit. Linear, difficult, but love this game. Snake's Revenge, and as much as I loved Metal Gear, I was a huge fan of Metal Gear, I could not get into this game for the life of me, and I tried several times. I was like, what's not to like about it? It's just Metal Gear. I can't place my finger on why or why not, but I just never got into it. Solar Jetman, what a cool game this was. The animation, the mood, the music, and unlike games today, this game has different gravity for different planets. Why is that not a concept that other people don't consider in making these newer video games? Different planet, different type of gravity. Well, this game has different gravity for the different planets. Space Shuttle Project, another outer space game. I actually like this game quite a bit. I really, really do. You just do these little quick mini missions to fly a space shuttle and launch a probe or launch a satellite and then come back to Earth by doing these little quick time events. I love it. Spider-Man, Return of the Sinister Six. I love Spider-Man. Spider-Man was my favorite growing up. Literally had the Spider-Man underoos and everything. Spider-Man could have been better. Spy Hunter. Can you believe this game came out in 1983? Well, here's the NES version, and I liked it quite a bit. Stanley and the Search for Dr. Livingston. It's another one of those games that not a lot of people talk about. It's just one of those late release games that could have been really cool. Star Trek, this is the 25th anniversary edition, so where are we at now? Like 50 years or something? It's been a minute. Probably over that now. This is Star Trek, the anniversary edition. And I actually liked it quite a bit. Oh yeah, I just had my 30th anniversary, my 30-year reunion. And then Star Trek: The Next Generation, that was a lot of people's first introduction to Star Trek. And this game, again, me not knowing the most about Star Trek, once you figure out how to play this game, it's a lot of fun. Stealth ATF, this is the second, we talked about it earlier, there was another stealth game, and this is the other stealth game for the Nintendo Entertainment System. And it plays a little bit similarly. I prefer this version more. Strider is another game that was different in the arcade, came out on the NES, and it looked like this, kind of a Metroidvania style game, if you will. What a cool ship. I wish they would have used that ship for something. Make a shooter out of that ship or something, I don't know. I liked this game a lot. I mean, the hit detection is weird, the jumping is weird. I still have a lot of fond memories with this game. A game called Supercars wouldn't be bad, but every angle is a right angle. It's just like a complete, it's a 90-degree turn every single time. Super Glove Ball, you can play this game with a controller. This game was meant for the power pad, but you can play with a controller just fine. And it's weird that this didn't come out there because Japan did get a power glove. Swamp Thing. Good lord. Yeah, just like you could have played the other game with a power pad, you can also not play this game. That's easier. Swords and Serpents, I like this game pretty well. I liked this game to a point until you started like falling and then going back levels. I was like, no, I don't want to play through that level again. But I liked it. I liked this game a bit. Hey, another skating game, TNC Surf Design, a game that most of us played because it's like, hey, you can skateboard. There's skateboarding and surfing. I didn't care about the surfing part of it. Thrilla's Safari, this is TNC Surf Design 2. I had a lot of TNC Surf Design shirts too, but they also made a game just for the Thrilla Gorilla. That's fine. Tailspin, another game from Disney that didn't come out in Japan, believe it or not. Out of all the Disney licensed games, this one's fine. This one's good. I like it the least, but it's actually not so bad. Target Renegade with the Frosted Tips. This is the sequel to Renegade. This is totally not the dude from Die Hard. And it is, it's the sequel to Renegade. Terminator. Love this graphic. Enjoy this graphic, because it's the best part about this whole game. Here we go, let's play Terminator. And then it looks like this. Have you seen this before? I mean, this is an actual game that came out for the NES. The Immortal, what a great game here. Isometric, love the animation, super hard. Just has the best death sequences ever. Thundercade, not a terrible game here. A little choppy with the animation, but, you know, could be better. Time Lord, I know I talk about Time Lord a lot on this channel here. I love Time Lord, and when I say that, I mean I love the first 3 or 4 levels. That's all I've ever played of it. I've never beaten this game because it gets too hard. Because trying to figure out how to get the other orbs. But I like the fact that the different levels are different eras. To the Earth, this is another Zapper game, but it has a cool little opening cinematic here. I'm capturing my own footage here, so I don't have a Zapper hooked up to my my Mister right now. Total Recall, love the movie. Total Recall, probably my favorite Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, and a decent-ish. It's more nostalgia for me to play this game. Toxic Crusaders, another one of those later release games. I love Toxic Crusaders. It has the different levels. It's a great beat 'em up. There's not a whole lot of great arcade-style beat 'em ups for the NES. There's only a few of them. I mean, and they're all pretty decent, I guess. This one's really, really good. Trog. Love me some Trog. Trog's one of those games where people are like, oh my god, do you remember Trog? Do you ever play Trog? Because some people haven't. And some people, this is what they have. You know, it's people who love Trog really, really, really like Trog. Think a little bit, I mean, not exactly like Pac-Man, but like Pac-Man where you have to get all the blue eggs. But you can also, attack the other enemies, and if they get you, they will eat your body. That's how that works. Ultima Warriors of Destiny, a very... this is an odd angle to be at. This is like you're looking zoomed in from the International Space Station angle. What a weird angle. Wayne's World, well, I mean, it's collectible, so if you have it for cheap, good for you. Not the best platformer here, but it's something. Where's Waldo never came out in Japan, and I'm okay with that. It's a game that was made right here in the United States, I believe. We can look for Waldo together. If you see him, shout him out in the comments. And there he is. Perfect. And along with Where's Waldo, we also get the Great Waldo search, done a little bit differently, where you can, you know, the bigger levels, but also Waldo is a lot easier to find in this, for sure. We got Who Framed Roger Rabbit. I like this game a lot, even though it's a little also kind of convoluted on where to go, what to do, only because on the overworld map, all the buildings look the same. Like, there's not really a call for like, oh, over here is this building, over here is that building, or this is, you know, there's like the hotel. It's like, well, of course it's a hotel. They're all hotels, it seems like in this game, or office buildings or something. And yes, Japan did get a Roger Rabbit game, but their Roger Rabbit was our Bugs Bunny's Crazy Castle. So, weird enough. This is our Roger Rabbit game. I like it okay. We had Widget, and they didn't, which is too bad. Another very late release game here. And a totally decent kind of, you know, action-style game here. Based on a Saturday morning cartoon, I believe. I never watched it. Oh, we talked about Iron Sword earlier. This is Wizards and Warriors 3. I swear this is not done by the people who did Wizards and Warriors 1 and 2. They tried. There was a Wolverine game. Wolverine gets his own game for the NES, and this one actually isn't such a bad game. It really isn't. Apologize about the audio quality difference here. Turns out these ones didn't record for some reason, so I'll just record them straight into the laptop. WWF WrestleMania. There's a few WWF games that we got that they didn't. One of them being WWF WrestleMania. You can play as Bam Bam Bigelow. You gotta love it. Also, WWF Steel Cage Challenge. You got the Steel Cage Challenge from WWF on the NES. Did not come out in Japan. Shout out to IRS playing them in this round. And we did get, but they did not, King of the Ring. Show some love to Razor Ramon here. They did get WrestleMania Challenge, the one that has like Ultimate Warrior on it. So, yeah, you know, they got that game, but we got these other games. Yay us, I guess, huh? Remember Wolverine? Well, he's in the Uncanny X-Men now. This one came out first. Wolverine came out later. I'm just going alphabetical, kind of. But here's the X-Men game that we got. I don't need to say much about it. Xenophobe is another game, or maybe it's Xenophobe. I always call it Xenophobe, though. 3-player on the arcade, 2-player at home. From Sunsoft, Bally Midway. I liked this game in the arcade because it was cool to see what the next room was. And you could pick up a lot of different weapons, a lot of different items, play with a friend. It was just kind of a cool little game here. Didn't port the best to the NES, but it was fine for what you had, especially with the only had a couple of buttons to use. The Young Indiana Jones Chronicles. It was a TV series. It was a huge book series. And even had a couple of video games. And the NES game, if you've never played it, it's actually really good. You should check it out sometime. And you can, if you're in the United States. If you're looking for the Famicom version, you ain't gonna find it, because it never came out for the Famicom. Zen Intergalactic Ninja. Yeah, we could do Zen Intergalactic Ninja. Why not? This is another one of those later release games. Isometric when you're moving. Was this based on a comic? I believe it was. One that I'm not very familiar with, I say in a questioning tone to my voice. Please tell me in the comments. Zen Intergalactic Ninja, how about it? Not only did we get these games and Japan didn't, but some of these games are super hard. In fact, I did a video recently of the hardest NES games, according to me. Make sure you check out that video. In the meantime, we'll see you soon.